Hello, everyone. The other day I was scrolling through YouTube. It was actually just yesterday. And I was just looking for something to pass the time while I was doing some work. And, on the home screen of YouTube where it has suggestions, the algorithm thinks videos that you might like to watch or videos from channels that you subscribe to, and also some ads, which, all right, it's their platform, whatever. But one of the ads caught my eye. And I recognized it right away. It was this ad here from Newbie Drone, and it talked about the $2.50 trade in for batteries. Your old batteries power up with NX69. And so I was like, well, that's kind of interesting, but the ad doesn't tell me a lot. There's not much text on screen. It's got a QR code, but the QR code was crazy small, and I'm not much of a QR code scanner person, so I just clicked on it. And I clicked on it and it took me to the homepage. Like, well, that was kind of a waste of an ad buy there. You just took me to the homepage. I don't know why you bought that particular ad or placed that particular ad. So I closed the tab and just went about scrolling. But I saw the ad again and again. It caught my eye. And I think the curiosity in myself was like, why is Newbie Drone spending money on ads and then just sending you to the homepage? So I went back to the homepage again to take a second look. And at first it was just the homepage, but I finally scrolled down just a bit. So that ad buy was for this little tiny green square down here in the one of four, which, depending upon the resolution of your monitor, you might not even see, because if I scroll up, you can barely see it down here. So I have to scroll down just a touch. So after seeing it, I was like, all right, and he's $2.50 trade in. What's this all about? So then I went to the form, which is a pretty basic form. It's just filling out your particular information. But I thought, $2.50 a battery, it's shipping costs. Is this really worth someone's time? And it does state, trade in your old batteries and get a brand new NX69 300 milliamp 1S 80C high volt batteries for $10 per set, and one set equals 4 pieces or 4 batteries. One of these must be multiples of 4. That's because they sell their batteries in multiples of 4. So I scroll down a little bit, and then it says, number of packs you're going to take in. So say you're going to do 40, you're going to get the full amount that you can for the maximum amount that they'll do this deal on. And then it says, upload photos of old batteries. Now, when I read that part kind of got me, because I thought, well, that negates the shipping costs, right? You're just going to upload a picture? And I was like, how can they trust that? Because you can just pull a picture off the internet of 1S batteries that are PH20. And surely you're like me and, why would you get your cell phone out and take a picture when you could just Google for a picture of batteries and send that in? Well, there is a little bit of a catch. And the catch is clear down here at the bottom. Essentially what you're doing is you're doing a trade-in. So you're purchasing the equal number of batteries that you're trading in, of course. And that part did not hit me right away. And this last part is probably the most important part, because you do have to ship your batteries in. Now, this is not going to be financially feasible, especially if you live outside of the US. And depending upon shipping costs, which is something to check out, it may not, be worth your time, so to speak, to discharge them, to box them up, and to send them back. But this is a viable option for people, especially those people that might have a host of old batteries. You're still running PH20 on your old Whoop, and you don't want to change out that connector, and you're needing some new batteries, and maybe you were even thinking about getting some new batteries. And this is an opportunity where you can negate some of that purchasing cost. Again, you have to do your own little calculations on the shipping on your part, but you also get 50% of the performance upgrade of that new NX69 connector. So it might be worth your time. This might not be worth your time either. That's still something that you have to do the research on. And after brewing this last night as I was going to bed, I kind of thought, I didn't know this existed. How many other people don't know this existed? And how many people fit that use case scenario of, you've got a PH20 Whoop, maybe multiple, and you don't want to change out the pigtail, and you have a host of old tired batteries that you don't fly anymore because they just don't last, or they're puffed. Woo, hopefully they're not puffed. That you are going to get rid of anyways, and save some money in the process. So it seemed like a good idea to at very least signal boost or pass this on, so that those of you that are like me and didn't know this existed, and you fit all those or some of those criteria, however you see it fit, that you would be aware. So you can just go to Newbie Drone's website, newbiedrone.com. Find that green square in that lower right portion of the screen. Click on that, and after you do your calculations, maybe with how many batteries you have that you're willing to or you're wanting to get rid of, as well as your costs, and maybe figure out if it's worth it. If you'd rather tap, I can put a link down in the video description as I normally do. That's not necessary by any stretch, but again, this was something that where an actually ad on YouTube, it got me, and then my curiosity on this battery buyback, because it was such a novice idea, that got me as well, and I wanted to pass it on to you. So hopefully there's a handful of you or so that will find this useful, and during this season you can save some money on your batteries and maybe spend it on your family or loved ones or something else all together. I appreciate your time. Let me know if this was useful. It's something that maybe if I see something like this in the future you're interested in, down in the comment section below. I appreciate your time once again. Thanks for watching.